Moonbeam ice cream, taking off your blue jeans.
What do you think of that?
Moonbeam ice cream.
It reminds me of the
Moonbeam ice cream.
that dancing ghost, the animated dancing ghost outside of the Quickie Mart.
What?
It's like shaky cam footage of a guy like they're like, what's that? What's he doing? And the ghost is like,
I haven't seen. Wait,
it's like the 1920s animated ghost.
the guy who's like,
Yeah.
like the what do they call? What is that guy? The singer that they just rotoscoped.
Yeah, yeah. I just picture that when I hear Moonbeam ice cream.
You know, let's just start right here.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he seems like a nice kid. I'll
Sure.
say that.
Sure.
Everything that I've seen of him seems like a really nice guy.
Yep.
Doesn't deserve. Well, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say that because
Well.
it's a bad song, and I can only imagine that the album's not much better. But yo, did you see Pitchfork's review of it?
Sure did.
Man, they eviscerated this kid. I'm actually surprised that they gave him such a high number, considering
Yeah.
what was written in the review.
It wasn't a monkey peeing into its own mouth.
No, they've finally grown out of stuff like that, which
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I do miss the old angry snarkiness of
Yeah.
Pitchfork until it's somebody that you like, and then it's like,
Sure.
you know what? I'll go to them offices.
We're going to talk about this.
Yeah, somebody's gonna hear me.
Yeah.
Moonbeam ice
I
cream.
don't want to. It's.
Taking Ooby Beeby.
We say it's bad, but
Rinky dinky dookie.
at the same time, one, the song is now stuck in my head at least for the rest of the day, and two,
Ruby dooby shooby.
tons of people are listening to that album and those songs in particular.
Yeah.
So much. So somebody likes
It's
it.
just so silly.
Lots of
it's
people
so
like it.
silly. I can't imagine like sitting down and he makes the kind of music that like you wouldn't just sit down right and put headphones on
I don't
and
think.
listen to it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's doing like a full Benson Boone album session.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
not unless there was a gun pointed to them. You know, and it's held by Benson Boone.
Yeah,
Moonbeam ice cream.
he's long legs.
Listen to my EP.
Ugh.
All right, let's get it rocking. My name is
got some fanfic to write.
Okay, what's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. That right there, that is the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Tonight's brew is from Drowned Lands, their Green Yield IPA. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? Moonbeam.
No, please. Please, God, no.
We got a trailer for the Running Man movie, so we have to do a little thing that we like to call trailer trash.
Trash.
That's what was fun and exciting.
No meep meep.
Meep, meep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I have two. I'm just got blue jean ice cream.
Blue jean ice
It's
cream.
Blue jean ice cream
Yum.
on my mind. I just got blue jean ice cream.
Yes.
What else we got, Obi?
We also have the recently announced Denis Villeneuve directed 007 coming our way. So we're going to talk a little bit about the speculation as to what that's going to be like, and a few people who they are already saying are in contention for the lead role of 007.
Staying in this movie TV realm, we have The Last of Us Season 3 coming, and it's following pretty closely the video game, it appears, in as far as storytelling.
Yeah.
But the one thing it's not following is the, or I guess it's not being helmed by the person who was in charge of all of this. Neil Druckmann is leaving the show.
Yes.
He will not be the showrunner for season 3. So we're going to talk about that. And one more thing.
Finally, we will talk about the recent drama surrounding Glastonbury, which we actually mentioned in passing during our festival conversation. It was apparently a major success. Lots of big stories coming out of it, big headliners
Except
and
for these
whatnot.
guys.
Well, if you didn't hear, this hip-hop duo called Bob Vylan is in some hot water. After saying some things I can't say because it's too early in the podcast.
We gotta wait a little bit. That's why it's the last segment.
Correct. And there's been a lot of controversy around them and also Irish group Kneecap,
Irish,
who were also at Glastonbury.
Irish.
So
Kneecap.
Irish.
Yes.
So we'll talk a bit about that and what's going on with them.
But before we can do any of that, we got to get into this show. And we got to do it right.
Yeah.
This is episode 467 of the One Beer In podcast. Good job.
Just ice cream over.
That girl is hazy.
Hazy.
That's a hazy girl right there.
All right. Let's clinker.
And then we shall drink her.
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and then we see where that one brew takes us. I'm Marco. That's Adam.
Yep.
Speaking of Adam, you want to tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. This is the Green Yield Hazy IPA coming in at 7.2% ABV by Drowned Lands out of Warwick, New York. There's no cold read on the can itself, but there is a read on the website at drownedlands.beer. Goes as follows. Hazy IPA, hopped with Amarillo, Simcoe, Citra, and New Zealand Cascade. We're tasting nectary. We're tasting nectary blooms of early spring honeysuckle, pink and yellow starbursts, and overripe melon.
Wow.
So there you have it.
Okay.
There you have it.
Okay.
Yeah. I should say also picked up from the Half Barrel project in Orlando.
Nice.
So I have never seen Drowned Lands before, so this is a first for the show.
Yeah. All right. I have this tea here, and I was looking at this cup, and I'm thinking, when's the last time you saw Keep Calm
And Carry On?
Yeah. Not Keep Calm and Whippy-Doo.
Yeah.
Keep Calm and blah, 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 blah. Keep just the way that it's supposed to be.
The classic, yeah.
Keep Calm and Moonbeam ice cream.
Yeah.
I guarantee. I'm going to Google it right now.
Oh, no.
I just want to know. I mean, that's more of a millennial thing. I think
It
like the
definitely
Keep
is.
Calm thing has died out.
Yeah. Or maybe Keep Calm and Backflip or something, and it has a picture of him doing the backflip.
Let's just see.
Keep Calm and Moonbeam. And Cast Moonbeam.
Keep Calm and Cast Moonbeam. I guess that's something from something.
It sure is. Moonbeam ice cream. Where's it from?
This is a
r
Reddit
slash
post
Benson Boone
from the subreddit Benson Boone subreddit. The only explanation I can find for this lyric is that Benson doesn't know what it means, and it just felt right. Okay, that sounds to me like he's claiming he made up the phrase. However, there's a 2015 song by Syntasol called Moonbeam Ice Cream. So obviously the phrase existed before Benson.
Interesting.
But does anyone actually know where it originated from and why Benson references it? You may not like this response, but I tried my hardest to find out on the internet and gave it to ChatGPT.
Hey.
I don't even care if you're right. I'm skipping you. Where was the person who had the answer? Here it is. It's from Summer Camp Island on Cartoon Network, Season 1, Episode 18. Nerd.
Wow.
They say Moonbeam ice cream twice. Hedgehog says there's going to be Moonbeam ice cream. Later in the episode, Oscar says, "Oh, Moonbeam ice cream," and it shows blue ice cream in cones. Don't know how to attach pictures, but it's a great show.
Okay.
Whatever. All right, I'm done. We've given him enough airtime.
I'm satisfied with that result.
Yeah, actually, I know
response.
we have an answer now.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
So maybe he, being 22 years old,
Just it went into his frontal cortex at some point. He absorbed it and just it came out.
and
Makes
he's
sense.
like, I don't know where that came from. It was just a placeholder lyric,
Yeah.
and it just felt right. I'm sure it did. Benson.
Yes.
All right, let's do a little bit of trailer trash.
Trash.
The Running Man.
Yeah.
2025's version of The Running Man.
Correct.
I shouldn't say it's like a remake of the 80s one with Arnold, because it's really just its own thing, it appears. It doesn't really look like the Arnold version.
Yeah. People are speculating that it's probably adhering more to the book
Yeah.
than the Arnold movie.
Yeah.
So, and Glenn Powell is definitely more of an everyman than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, he's a little more, even in this movie, or even in this trailer rather, it's a little like sarcastic, kind of quippy, kind of. It's different than the Arnold.
Arnold was quippy.
Quippy, sure.
Very quippy in that
yeah.
movie.
But I don't know. In that, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess it was a different kind of. It was the '80s Arnold.
Yeah.
Quip.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Stick around.
right. Well, some steam.
I know. I don't remember any of them right now. I've seen the movie, but I know he has like a million of them. In The Running Man.
There's one that he does after he kills the guy in the hockey rink.
Yeah.
I used to meet you. No, it's not that one. I forget. But yes, he has his little one-liners in that movie for sure.
Let's see if I can just pull them up. I really don't like the AI overview, but it does work. His name is Ben Richards in the movie. Right?
There it is.
This is the Killian. Here's your Sub-Zero.
Now played.
Here's your Sub-Zero. Now plain zero. Uplink underground. If you guys don't shut up, I'm gonna uplink your ass and you'll be underground.
There you go. Poetry.
Oh man, he's the
Poetry
best.
in motion.
So good.
Yeah.
So it's not that. Well, it might be that actually. It could be that.
It kind of, I mean, it's not that far off. It's just that he's not this hulking behemoth of a man.
Mm-hmm.
He seems more downtrodden and, again, more of an everyman that is running. Wow. Where did we think of that? No, stop. Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, we have our first trailer of this long anticipated Edgar Wright follow-up to Last Night in Soho, which I think people haven't watched.
I can't believe that's his last movie.
Yeah,
Huh.
it feels like forever ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like he's been kind of under the radar for a little bit, and it's going to be nice to have more stuff with the Edgar Wright flair that he's known to have now, especially with sort of the oneer that they're already teasing in the trailer, a lot of the stylistic touches and plays off of music. It seems like that continues to be a big inspiration for him, and yeah.
You know, when I first watched, like the first 20 seconds of it, I was like, I don't know about this one. I don't know if this is the choice.
Yeah.
And then as it progressed, I was like, actually, this looks kind of fucking cool. I guess because I have the 80s Running Man in my head, and every time that they try to remake an Arnold movie, part of the charm is lost because it's Arnold, right? And he brings a certain Arnoldness to what he does. And I mean, it's kind of this. I mean, you can say it's his physicality, his imposing nature on screen. You know, you could say it's like the like the uncanny handsomeness, especially like in the 80s.
Chiseled from rock.
The voice, the accent, the line deliveries,
and charm.
And the charm. I mean, whatever,
charming,
all of those things that make up what Arnold Schwarzenegger was in his heyday.
Yeah.
He was able to elevate movies like this, like The Running Man.
Yeah.
In the way that you can still rewatch them, and even if they're bad movies, there's just something about, like, he's just so fascinating to watch on screen. It was so, like, looking back on some of his movies, and you're just like, man, when people say, like, when he tells his own story about being passed over, and people are like, what are you talking about? I don't know how this is going to work. You can barely speak English.
Right.
When you rewatch his movies, it's kind of shocking that there were people who didn't believe in him.
I mean, even in, like, Pumping Iron, you can tell he's radiating off the screen.
Dude, he's not even the star of that. Like, it was supposed to be about all of them.
Yeah.
And he just was so good, so funny,
Yeah.
so natural that they were like, fuck, man, we got to do more with
Stick
this
around
guy.
with this guy.
Yeah. But then they were like, we're gonna ADR his voice and just make him the big dumb guy in movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could you think that was
different time.
So to get back to this, I'm watching this trailer and I'm thinking, like, there's just something missing at first.
Yeah.
Then as it went on, I was like, actually, this looks kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, I kind of had the same experience. It was like I feel like I had to get my footing with what they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
And even rewatching the trailer just now when you watched it for the first time, I still feel a little unsure is the wrong word, but, like, I'm curious to see how it pans out in the full movie.
Yeah.
But it comes off in the trailer like a very old style action movie.
Yeah.
It feels like almost like a 90s action movie.
And that's what I was afraid of when I heard that they were doing this. Because if you rewatch, like you said, you've never seen the Total Recall remake, right? You said you avoided it.
Yeah.
Continue to do so. It's not very good.
I planned on it.
But it has exactly what you're talking about, in that it looks too new. And like Total Recall, the OG, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The all the charm is lost. All of the dark humor is gone. Because Colin Farrell, I don't know if he just wasn't the guy, like he didn't have the confidence yet or whatever it is. That, because he definitely has it now. The kind of shit that he's doing now, you're like, this guy is a rock star.
You mean the Penguin?
Yeah. I guess he just needed to shit the bed a bunch before he finally was like, fuck it.
And to be fair, I think he's better as a character actor than he is as a lead.
He's not a leading man.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that was born too devilishly handsome.
Yeah.
And that's why they kept putting him in at the front of the poster.
Right.
But he definitely should have been the guy in the bottom left-hand corner.
Where he could thrive.
Yeah.
Or what he's doing now.
Yeah.
So happy for him.
Then the Edgar Wright, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that he was directing it.
Yeah.
That's big. The cast looks really good. So I'm going to say not trash.
Yeah, not trash. Not trash for me at all. Mm-hmm. I think Coleman Domingo looks like he's going to have a...
No, he's having a time.
He's gonna eat up the scenery.
That scenery is getting ate up, brother.
Yeah.
It's getting ate up, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Let us move along to the 007 choices that have been made or not made yet. Amazon finally moving along with, and you know what? We fucking talked about this, and I fucking knew it, man. As soon as the Broccoli's were like, do it, they look how quickly they're progressing with this. They're gonna give it to one of these fucking idiots. And they're going to ruin the franchise because they can't keep it in their pants long enough to just find a better actor. Let's go through the choices. Let's go through them, and let's talk about it.
Well, let me pull the full list.
I'm sorry. I got really.
It's okay. It's okay. I think let's start off with the name that's been thrown around the most right now, which is Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Okay, Tom fucking Holland. I don't listen. I think Tom Holland is a decent actor. I think he's done some stuff where I'm like, he may even be a good actor.
Sure.
I think that
We'll see him in the Odyssey coming out.
So we'll see about that. This
Sooner
could be
than
another
later.
situation where, like, you know, I thought that all I wanted to do was fight him, and now I realize that, like, I like him. Could be one of those situations.
Yeah.
I think, you know, he got, I shouldn't say stuck, because it has been the launching point of his career, but the Spider-Man thing has not helped as far as his perception as an actor and, like, what he can do outside of that.
Right.
Because he just does that thing now, right?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. And all I'm seeing from him now is basically just some version of that.
Yeah.
And I think that they wanted the Uncharted movies to be way bigger. I think Sony really, really thought this was going to be like a big deal.
And to be fair, it made money. It did well as far as box office.
Yeah.
But have you heard any rumor about an Uncharted 2 movie? I haven't.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
So I think that I would be really, really angry and would probably protest going to see it if they picked Tom Holland.
Okay.
So I'll just throw that out there. I think one of the worst possible rumors that I've seen is Tom Holland.
But feels very Amazon choice.
To just go with the young, good-looking British guy.
Yeah.
No.
Guy who's used to being stuck in a franchise.
What the fuck? What could they have seen from him that makes him, other than the name recognition?
Zendaya.
Yeah. No, he's been in. They've seen him in Zendaya.
They wish. They wish. Don't be crude.
Sorry.
Don't do that to Zendaya.
You're right. She
was Michi.
She deserves respect. Tom Holland does not.
Is Michi.
Zendaya is Michi.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I mostly agree with you on that one. I think it's a weird pick, but if they've seen something that we haven't, and, you know, if he's had, I don't know, at least a line reading or something,
No.
maybe, but he just doesn't. Okay, so to kind of preface this entire conversation, it's hard to cast 007 because you have to ask first, what is this 007 going to
ask first what your country will
You
do
must
for you.
ask first, what will 007 do for you?
What will he do for his country?
And the Queen. Because the King now.
God save the king.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't like
I
it.
don't like it either.
I don't want to save the king. I would love to save the queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord save her.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Sounds,
It just like it has
is that
manners to
misogynistic?
it, you know?
Is that misogynistic?
No, well, maybe.
It feels lightly. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a sprinkle of misogyny on that. I just feel like there's a certain like
A grace to
son to mother thing to it, as opposed to like, you know. No, I think there's a little sprinkle of misogyny there.
Well, it's also what we've been used to saying for our entire lifetimes. So
Yeah.
let's call it that instead.
Yeah.
But you do have to ask, like, what is the vision for this 007? Because 007, we talked about this in the past, has a few qualities that I feel like are musts in the character.
Yeah.
He has to have some kind of charisma. He has to be charismatic. Can't be a dork. Can't be a nerd. Some level of physical ability. So, you know, he can't be just a pretty boy, right?
Right.
I don't think he has to be white. I will say that. I think you can have a black Bond or a brown Bond.
Brave.
Yeah. You're going to get roasted online for that. I do think he needs to be a man to be Bond, personally. Speaking of misogyny. Yikes. But no, I think that's part of his story. And you could gender swap it, but I feel like the built-in nature, especially of traditional British values, would kind of get lost within it. Where it can become a commentary on misogyny and on the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Which it has started to become. So those are kind of the qualities that I think you need to stick to. But beyond that, it can really be anything. You know, like there's such a wide swath of people, of types, of characters that you can play, that you can put in that part of 007. So if they want a young kind of inexperienced, almost like the video game that they recently showed a trailer for, where it's like not necessarily his first mission, but him being young and kind of more of an up and comer. Kind of seems like that's what they're going with for Superman too, where it's like, we don't need the origin story, but he's still kind of figuring things out.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, okay, so I'm going to disagree with the assertion that Amazon is going with, that it appears that they're going with, because I agree with you. That appears to be the vision with these rumored choices, that they want to do this young, kind of inexperienced 007.
And make no mistake, it's because they want this guy to be locked down for 20 years.
Sure. That's why Idris is just out.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think you go with an aging Bond. I don't even think you go with a middle-aged Bond, but I do think you have to, I personally think you have to go older, at least established enough that this person is believably
like a top agent.
Yeah. I have zero interest in watching training montages, in watching like him bumble around the office, in watching him like charming the interns because he's barely out of 007. I have no interest in even the vibe or mood of the movie being like kind of pithy and like he's young and fun and
baby's first Bond.
Yeah, I fucking man, that makes me so mad even to think about, because that is what it looks like. That's what they're going with. They want to go with like young fucking Gen Z Bond. That's what it sounds like that they want.
Yeah.
And I am so vehemently against the idea. I don't even think you have so many requirements as to who Bond could and cannot be. The one thing that I think Bond has to always be is at least in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
So that it's believable that this guy has been, like, if he was recruited when he was in his teens or something, he trains for like 10 years, then, he's got to be, you don't just like freshly put out a 25-year-old into the world, right?
Sure.
It's another 5 years of being an agent, investigating, helping in the back. You don't earn that 007 in a matter of
the
a couple of
status. Yeah.
So I think you got to go like 30 and up. That's my requirement. As you were talking, I was thinking about, because I wasn't listening to you, I was thinking about other choices, right? These would be my guys, all right?
Okay.
No, I was listening to you because you said he could be black or brown.
I
did. It made me think about Riz Ahmed from Sound of Metal.
I've seen that go around as well, actually. A lot of people are pointing to him, and I think that's a great choice.
Yeah. I like that. I have to throw Idris in there because it's just, sure. Whatever. I guess I think he's perfect. And the fact that they just let time go on and let him get older and older to the point that he aged him out of the role.
They stepped over him.
I think it's a crime.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolute crime. I think that they weren't brave enough to make the choice.
Not the time. Definitely not the time.
No. And I think that they wasted a golden opportunity to have somebody like Idris be, just have him just go back. You don't have to have him for 5 movies. No. Just go back to 1 or 2.
You can make a one-off 007
You could just make a one-off. It didn't. You could have just thrown him a bone, made the movie, and then he's 00 for life, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the Bonds.
Yep.
You know how cool it would be to see like the box set of all the movies and then just, fucking Pierce and Connery and Craig, Alba right there. That'd be that. But that ship has sailed.
Yeah. And he has all of those qualities that I listed off too.
At 1,000 in
charisma,
spades.
He's physically capable.
I got Taron Egerton. I know that he's done The Kingsman, and I know that is Bond light.
Well, and I was actually going to say, it's funny because you talking about how much you don't want to see that like baby's first Bond.
That's what Kingsman is.
Right, which is
And I don't want that for Bond.
clearly a play off of the James Bond series, but it's funny that they did it already.
Right.
As almost a parody to what we're now facing.
And you can't go back now after a movie like The Kingsman has come out, been so successful, spawned its own franchise in and of itself, then turn around and then just do The Kingsman.
Yeah, no.
And then last but not least, I think the perfect choice has already been announced, rumored, and then apparently gone. I don't know. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
He is perfect for this.
And I will tell you, 28 years later, shows off his acting chops in a way that I have rarely seen him do so.
So he's got the chops, acting.
Yep.
He looks good.
Yep.
He smells good. He feels good.
Uh-huh.
He's got the charisma. We saw that on Bullet Train.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's British.
he's British. He's white.
Yeah.
That'll help everybody. That'll get him over that hump.
Make it real easy for you.
I don't know what happened with that. I thought he was a shoo-in. I thought
It
all we
had-
were doing was waiting for the D's and I's or T's and I's to get crossed and dotted.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about fucking Tom Holland, and I don't know which way is up.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I wouldn't take any of these casting rumors, which we are going to finish, by the way. I wouldn't take any of these super seriously before Denis has time to really go over what he wants to make this movie.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the biggest thing about what they've announced thus far is that they have Denis, who I implicitly trust at this point. Man has not made a bad movie yet. So I think they wouldn't hire like this sort of auteur director without giving him the reins fully to be like, this is my idea, this is the Bond I want, and this is how it's going to go.
I don't know. Tell that to Marvel.
Well, Denis never done a Marvel movie, so we'll see.
And he never will.
God
He
willing.
might, actually.
I don't want him to.
He might.
I don't want
You
him
gotta think
to.
about, like, the kind of check. All right, this
He already
movie,
did Batman. He can't go to Marvel now.
This movie comes out.
Except for James Gunn doing the opposite.
Wait, what Batman movie did he do?
No, I'm saying he went from Marvel to DC. James Gunn.
Oh. I was like, wait.
Oh, Denis.
Yeah, I got confused.
Sorry, I accidentally got him mixed up with Nolan. My bad.
I was like, wait, what?
No. Different auteur director.
This movie comes out, goes crazy, does really well. You don't think Marvel's coming around and being like, maybe? Just maybe?
I can guarantee you they've already asked. Like, they would be stupid if that email was never sent.
Right.
You know?
Oh, fuck.
Relax. I guarantee they have
Oh, damn, look at that. Look how much it's showing on camera.
how? It's not that prevalent in real life.
It's crazy. It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
Oh my god.
It's just such a sob.
It's a rough look, buddy.
Oh, I'm gonna use it for the thumb.
Okay. You spilling it on yourself?
I didn't even think I spilt that much.
I didn't either until you pointed it out.
Look at that. It looks like California. Not that part.
It looks like Massachusetts
part.
to me.
What?
You know the mitt, right?
What are you talking about?
All right. I don't know.
Learn geometry.
I got Denis Villeneuve mixed up with Christopher Nolan,
Yeah,
so
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm having an off day.
Let's go through the other guys.
Okay. Other than Tom Holland, we have Jacob Elordi.
Pass.
I will say out of the three, maybe.
If I had to pick out of the three, sure. I would mean if if Benson Boone has a gun to my head, then yeah, all right. Jacob Elordi would probably be the choice.
Okay. And then finally we have Harris Dickinson. Probably the least known of this group, but he's been in a few things. So recently he was in Baby Girl, which people talked about a lot. And he was in The Iron Claw as David Von Erich.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, and Triangle of Sadness as well, another big movie. And The King's Man, speak of the devil.
He was in The King's Man.
So, yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, a real-ass actor, which is nice. I can't speak to him in a leading role because I haven't seen him do that yet. So that's my biggest apprehension is just, frankly, I don't know him well enough.
Well, and they clearly have a look and age in mind because Tom Holland is also 29.
Yeah. So there you go.
How old is Jacob Elordi?
That is a
Go
great
for the
question.
trifecta.
Let's see. Jacob O'Lordy.
Jacob Elordi. Oh, Lord.
Jacob Elordi.
Elordi. He's
28.
28.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I could see that. I could see that guy. Because he actually looks older than 28, and I don't mean that offensively. I just mean like he has a mature, he's got the square jaw. He's just got like the leading man look to him.
Yes.
Tom Holland looks perpetually 15 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if he's bordering on 30. He looks, that's why he's able to continue playing a high schooler. Because he legitimately, I know sometimes people will say about actors like, well, this person is very clearly 30 playing a high schooler.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is, I actually was surprised at how old he was.
Yeah.
Because when they first started making the movies, I think he was like 19 or 20. So
Spider-Man?
it was believable. Yeah. So it was believable that he could play a 15-year-old. It was only a couple years before that. Sure. And as the movies have progressed, he's just going into college and he's in his 30s now.
Yeah.
But he still looks like that. So it actually works. This guy could not play a high schooler. I mean, when you look at scenes of him in Euphoria, you're like, that grown man is that's against the law.
That's
he shouldn't
illegal.
be touching girls that young.
Right.
What's he doing
Right.
there?
Right.
He could grow a full beard.
Sure can.
Look at that shadow there.
Yeah.
So I think he is the one with the most the look, quote unquote.
Yeah.
As far as his acting chops, what he can bring to the role, I don't know. He's Australian. He's not even British.
Yeah. I mean, they've done it before.
With who? With who?
Oh, the His Majesty's Service guy. The first one. The very first one.
The very first one.
Yeah.
Before Connery?
Yes, I believe. 007 Australian.
Am I just not a 00 guy?
George Lazenby.
Lazenby.
Yes.
That was before Connery? That was... you sure that wasn't after?
I believe it was before, but let me double check
between?
here. Let me double check here. Okay, George Lazenby, Mr. Lazenby.
It does look old.
Yes, but
Does
that is
look
also
older.
a picture.
Majesty's Service is
69.
So,
And then the first Connery movie
Dr.
was Dr. No. Yes, Dr. No.
was it like right after?
Oh no,
62. See?
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Okay, you're right.
Fucking had
When
me
you're-
doubting myself
When you're
for a
right,
second.
you're right. No, I got confused. I think because I believe there was a Casino Royale that came out before Dr. No.
Yeah.
It's
It's that weird episode of a TV show.
that's right.
Yeah.
It was like a TV movie.
Yeah.
It was like one of those things. So I knew there was something before Dr. No. Mm-hmm. But it was not His Majesty's Service.
But yeah, I mean, okay, sure. So, all right, it's been done before. It can be done again.
Sure.
I think though, from the '60s to now, people are a little bit more familiar with like Australian actors, accents.
They
and
can
things
do
like
any
that.
accent though.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, he did a decent American accent in Saltburn and in Euphoria, so he's not terrible at it.
Yeah. They have a knack for it for some reason.
I don't know. But I got an ear for when they fuck it up too. So I knew he wasn't American.
Well, we're American, so we probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference if he's doing a British accent.
That's true. I probably don't have an ear for that.
No.
Anybody can pull that off.
Yeah.
Oi, governor.
Oi!
Oi.
Oi!
Oi. I'm 007.
You got any shrimp on the barbie?
Well, that's not where I'm from. I'm from His Queen Majesty's England.
No rules, just right.
Just right. But throw some shrimp on the barbie.
I think
That's what
we've offended enough people now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are apparently the 3 front runners, currently speaking.
I'm mad. He's mad.
That being said, yeah, I'm not super excited about the prospects of that. But again, I don't feel like... I should say I think we should take all the 3 of these guys with a gigantic grain of salt, because it has not been long enough.
But why were they the names that popped up, though? They just seem so random.
I think, again, and this may just be conspiracy brain talking, but I feel like Amazon likes to put their finger on the scales at all times. So I think this is another effort for them to be like, yeah, these are the 3 front runners for the role.
What do you guys think of that?
Denis,
What do you think of that?
I get the feeling that's what it is, and
throwing feelers out.
Yeah, and just honestly getting some PR out of it, and just being like, what do you guys think of that?
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it sure did. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
and if we're talking about it, that means it's top news, because this is the one beer in town.
that's true. That being said, I mean, this movie probably won't come out for another 3 years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at that point, they
will be in their mid-30s. Yeah. It'll all work out.
I just do not want to see Tom Holland be 007. I'm so against that. These other 2 dudes, sure, whatever. I mean, maybe Hines, whatever, if he could do it. What's his name? Harris. Hines Dickinson.
Yeah, Harris Dickinson.
Maybe he's capable. Jacob Elordi seems to be the most capable, but I am so against Tom Holland. I cannot stress enough how against Tom Holland I am for this role.
Yeah, unless he's been hiding some secret 007 sauce.
Well, he's also just not big enough. That's the other thing. He's dainty, bro.
He's like a Michael J. Fox type, He's like a small guy.
Yeah, that
youthful.
guy. That's a certain kind of guy who gets certain kind of roles.
Yes,
and square-jawed, chiseled leading man 007.
He's not cool.
No, he's not cool.
He's not cool.
He works. That's why he's the perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's charming. He's young. He's fun. He's hip. He's
the
with
kids
it.
love him.
The kids love him.
Yeah.
All of that works in his favor to be a dorky, gangly, awkward Spider-Man. I think he was perfectly cast as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just do not. I don't believe a dude that I could beat up could be 007. And
is that your criteria?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Well,
that
Jacob
is part
Elordi's
of it.
really tall.
That's
so
what
at least
I'm saying.
he has that.
He's got height. He's got reach.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could give me a run for my money.
Strong chin.
Yeah, strong chin. Strong chin. That's the first thing I'm attacking.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I'm saying about,
strong brow.
Timothy.
Very strong brow.
Yeah. Very strong brow. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that eats punches,
Yeah.
You look at Daniel Craig, even before Daniel Craig got the role, Daniel Craig looked like a tough guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even despite him doing any kind of weird photo shoot or wearing any kind of weird clothes, he still
fashion.
looks like he will fuck you up.
Yeah. Probably because he could.
Sean Connery, we know that he was fucking people up.
It's true.
Women included. He didn't care. He was a bad man.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way and in a bad way.
Yeah.
Sean Connery will fuck you up. Pierce Brosnan seems like he would. He knows classically how he would be like, put up your dukes.
Yeah.
And he would put, I'll give you a rap right on the chin.
Or like fencing.
Yeah. He knows. Yes. Mm-hmm. He looks like he knows how to fence.
Yeah.
So I still believe him.
Yes.
Timothy Dalton, another square jawed, strong.
Man's man.
Yeah. Like Idris Elba, a trained kickboxer. He will fuck you up.
And a DJ.
Tom Holland, I'm just not scared of Tom Holland.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, unless he's hiding something from us this entire time.
I want to be afraid that, like, if I walked into a gala with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's wearing this just beautiful
knockout gown.
I mean, dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
Just all eyes are on her. Bond comes swooping in. I have to be afraid
You're like,
that like he might. Yeah, exactly. Because all these other guys, I'm just like, I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
But if I want Bond to swoop in and you'd be like. And he's gonna start talking to her, and then you go to the bar, and he swoops in.
Hey, babe, we should go.
We should probably just get out of here, right? And she's like, no, I'm having so much fun.
No, the party's dying. We should get out of here.
No, did you see James is here? James is here. I haven't been able to talk to him all week. Oh my God, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to get us some drinks. James over there. And then he pays.
Yeah.
You know he pays. And he pays for your drink too. And you're like, you son of a bitch.
And
he knows your order.
Uh-huh.
He knows your drink
he goes,
order.
Wink.
And he just brings over like a real nice smoky old fashioned. And he's like, like you like it. And you're like, how do you know that? Who told you that?
She
He's
just
like,
made.
You just seem like the kind of guy who would do something like that. That's, don't worry about that. And you're like, I love him too.
I know your type.
And then she's batting her lashes at him. And you can't stop it. You just have to watch it take place.
Watch it happen.
Watch him take her to his place.
Yeah. In an Aston Martin.
So that's the kind of guy I want cast as James Bond.
Yes. To threaten you sexually.
I want my manhood threatened.
Yes. Fair enough.
It's the only way.
Fair enough.
It's the only way he's believable to me.
It's the only way you can respect him.
I feel insecure when he's around.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's fair.
That's it.
It's fair.
So
That's what movies are for.
I want to see that guy on screen.
Agreed. Here.
Here. Here.
Okay.
Chim Chim Churi. Okay. Let's move right along to something that was actually pretty shocking news. I was very taken aback by this.
Yeah.
The Last of Us is moving right along to season 3. Did you watch season 2?
Yeah.
Finish
I
it?
did. Yep.
No spoilers. What'd you think?
It was good, but I think season 1 was more consistent. And I think season 1, I don't think it's any accident that season 1 also adhered more to the game.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Oh, so they take some liberties?
There are some I don't want to confuse you. It does still follow the storyline, but I agree with the people who are like, some of the characters feel a little off, and they felt more right in season 1.
Okay.
Without spoiling anything, obviously.
Okay.
They're clearly making a different choices with certain characters. So yeah, I liked it. I didn't have as much of a problem as some people did. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall, and some really good action and horror scenes in this season compared to season 1. I think they definitely improved on the clickers and the variety of
what?
Excuse me. And the variety of different monsters.
They're called
they
clickers.
Excuse me. Sorry. That's my dad talking. Yeah. No, I think they did better in certain aspects, but I think overall, slightly weaker season than season 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. I'll watch it. It's one of those. It's one of those things. I'm just like, I have a handful of shows. I mean, Sherry asked me about The Bear, and yeah.
So far, the Bear season 4 is really good.
Yeah,
I like it. I actually, so far, like it a little more than season 3.
Really? I was reading some review that said like this needs to be the last season, and they're like tired of it.
I think there's a little hyperbole with people like wanting to dislike something that's really popular too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people are like turning on the Bear for some reason.
I mean, that's what happens, man. That's what happens with all these shows, good, bad, or ugly. Nowadays, the thing can't last for too long before people are like, all right. I think these like legacy shows, like
tell that to that hospital show.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's
Anatomy got in just under the wire.
Yeah.
To where people, I mean, well, and not even to say that Grey's Anatomy is not safe from this. A lot of people are like, I cannot believe this show is still going.
Yeah.
It now has whittled down to its niche fan base of people who are still. I stumbled on a recent episode, and and mind you, I watched like the first 5 or 6 seasons of the show.
Yeah.
I know it's on season 20 something. I have no clue what's going on. I don't know any of these.
It's like
people.
One Piece at this point.
Yeah, they're just unrecognizable.
Yeah.
So anyway, Neil Druckmann,
Yes.
the creator of The Last of Us, the runner of the game, excuse me, the guy who believed in this vision so much that he was like, we're gonna go to HBO with this, and created the first season, which was spectacular. It has one of the greatest episodes of television of all time in it. You move on to season 2. Obi liked it.
Yep.
Now you're moving to season 3, and he decided, I'm done.
I've had enough.
I'm out.
I've actually had enough.
So, you want to give a little bit of background? Is there any kind of reasoning behind this?
There is, and it's straight from the Neil's mouth. He posted on social media, and I quote, I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO. With work completed on Season 2, and before any meaningful work starts in Season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing and directing our exciting new game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative.
Oh.
Co-creating the show has been a career highlight. It's been an honor to work alongside Craig Mazin, to executive produce, direct, and write on the last 2 seasons. I'm deeply thankful for the thoughtful approach and dedication the talented cast and crew took to adapting The Last of Us Part 1 and the continued adaptation of The Last of Us Part 2.
Interesting. Okay, well, that makes perfect sense. The timing of it is strange.
Yes. And I think, I don't know, the sort of dramatic nature of this post, I don't think helped things.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it feels more like a breakup than a natural transition.
Yeah.
It doesn't clearly say to me, like, I mean, his reasoning is sound, obviously, like he wants to focus on the thing that got him here in the first place.
Yeah.
And, understandably so, but it doesn't read to me really like I fully trust Craig Mazin's vision and it's in good hands, and I'll still be available to facilitate.
Yeah.
It's like a clear split.
Yeah.
And like, I now no longer have anything to do with The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah.
And to me, that feels a little suspect.
Yeah.
And it hints of controversy and conflict.
Yeah. It does, and it also feels really weird because he's never stepped away from his duties as the head of Naughty Dog.
Right.
And this game gets announced, and they're working on it currently, but they've been doing that for the past at least couple of years. It's not like this game just popped up out of nowhere, and then he was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I've been doing this TV thing, but now they want to do this stupid video game. I guess I got to go back and do that.
Yeah.
He has to be fully aware that this game is being made. So I'm just confused as to how we got to this place where he didn't, like I said, the timing just seems really weird. Why couldn't he have been like, at the end of season 2, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you guys know Craig is taking over by season 3. I'm just going to be here to facilitate season 1 and season 2, and then I'm going to bounce. You would think that a guy in his position would have that mapped out.
Yeah,
ready
would have
to go.
planned for that.
To your point, it does seem very sudden and weird.
And unplanned. Clearly unplanned.
Yeah. And in the statement, there could have been something to the effect of, I leave this franchise in the very capable hands of Craig. I know he's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's why I am comfortable leaving.
There was no real passing of the torch.
No. It was just like, thank them for their, we all did the vision and blah, blah, blah. And he's, but it just, it does seem kind of like, what happened here?
And it's not just him. Haley Gross, who also worked on Last of Us Part 2, the game, has left apparently as well. And she has her own statement, which says, with great care and consideration, I've decided to take a step back from my day-to-day work on HBO's The Last of Us to make space for what comes next. I'm so appreciative of how special this experience has been. Working alongside Neil, Craig, HBO, and this remarkable cast and crew has been life-changing. The stories we told about love, loss, and what it means to be human in a terrifying world are exactly why I love this franchise. I have some truly rad projects ahead, and I can't wait to share, but for now, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who brought Ellie and Joel's world to life with such care. So, I mean, more of the same, really. It's the same tone, same, like, all right, it's been fun. See ya.
Yeah. Odd.
For no real reason.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like, because, going back to the fact that he was always running Naughty Dog and he knew this game was coming and he knew, like, it seemed like he was, I don't know what his inner workings are and everything. I don't know if he was maintaining being able to do both things, but he did it for 2 seasons.
Sure. You would think there'd be some understanding after this work relationship for 2 seasons of a TV show that, like, if he needed to step away for a little bit, he could and focus on, making sure the game gets finished.
Well, and in this era of, a show coming back 5 years and doing their season 2, and it's like, cool, we waited forever for this show.
Right.
You're telling me they couldn't just wait like a year or two to bring,
and especially because he said clearly that there's been no real work done on season 3 yet, so they haven't even started.
Yeah, the show's not even. Yeah, they're not. It's not even in production right now.
Let Craig pick up the baton and jump back in when you're ready.
Yeah, or just not even announce this. Work on the video game, and then when the show's back in production, you couldn't just come back and
video call in and be like, I'm not sure about this aspect of it. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is all speculation. We don't know about the guy's life, but
yeah, and we could be making a mountain out of a molehill, but it does imply or seem to imply that there's something else going on here.
It feels weird, and it implies to me that maybe both of these are going to be true, but there was conflict behind the scenes, creative differences, if you will, and or season 3 is going to suck.
Yeah, and he already knows it.
He has no faith in the direction that Craig Mazin is steering the ship. Yeah, and he has no real, power to.
I'm out.
Control it.
You guys got.
Take my name off of it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't work on season 3. You guys got this. I'm going back to my video games.
Right.
Or maybe he's just tired of working in the medium.
Maybe
he's just like, I did what I set out to do. I'm sick of this.
But it would have been. I don't know. Obviously, we're parsing words here.
Yeah.
That he put out.
Let's continue.
But it would have been nice. I'm just saying, as like from a PR perspective for them, if you would have said something to the effect of, I've helped start the foundation of this great TV show that is going to continue on until the story is told, and
just something to give people the confidence that he or to show that he has the confidence in the vision going forward.
That's usually what is expected when you're doing this not under duress.
Right.
Is usually like I have full faith that Craig and the team are going to continue to knock it out of the park, and I will be watching. Something like that to give confidence to the audience, because obviously now people are having questions and scratching their heads, and it's not looking good.
No.
On top of the fact that there was a lot of trolls, a lot of people who hate the show just to hate it, or because they hate Last of Us 2 or hate gay people or whatnot.
Whatnot,
et cetera, so that's only feeding the fire of the hatred online, especially for the TV show, and especially for Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, he's leaving because he knows what's about to come. He knows what, and I don't know, man. Maybe that's it. Maybe he knows. He knows what is coming in this next season. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm surprised. I mean, going back even to the creation of the show, it was surprising that he would go back in and be like, yeah, all of that shit we dealt with, let's bring it all back up
one more time.
I will say though, for a TV show based around all of the stuff that happened in Last of Us Part 2,
yeah,
I was shocked that there weren't more people who were angry about those decisions. From my own purview,
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people being upset about what happened.
Yeah.
But not that it did happen. Does that make sense?
And I think that has, yes, it does. I think that has a lot to do with, one, gamers are the worst audience of all time.
Yep, that's true.
And two, this sort of thing has happened before in other big time HBO TV series.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah. It's still shocking, and you know, it definitely pulls on your emotions, but I don't think it's completely unheard of anymore in 2025.
Right.
So I think those two things are major factors.
Yeah.
In that
I
response.
did still see a lot of people going, Bella Ramsey is just not a good pick for Ellie.
Yeah.
And then you go, why? Because they don't look like Ellie. What does that mean? Well, they just don't look like him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, are you just not attracted enough to the 14-year-old? Is that the problem?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like,
Shut
so
up.
then what's the problem? Then I saw a lot of people saying in season 2 that Bella, doesn't do as good of a job. Now, okay, sure. That's a legitimate criticism, and I can see that. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that they still are doing their thing with Ellie?
Yeah, I do. I think that they did well. I do think, and you know, this is kind of what I was hinting at before, but
What's your problem?
I think what they go by they them, actually.
I'm sorry.
So nice of you to be prejudiced. Well, yeah,
You know, she said that off camera too. Like no one would have heard that.
I know. Wanted to underline it for everyone out there. Yeah. No, I agree with Sherry, and I don't think it's their fault. No,
I don't think. Well, I don't know, but I could see that it is a more prejudiced choice to blame them for all of this. But
well, they're an easy target, you know, like that. It's just, it's clear that a lot of the hatred wasn't coming from a place of substance, I guess. Now, I will say I don't agree with all of the choices that they made from the storytelling perspective of shaping Ellie in the TV show. I think that there are some flaws there, and there are some idiosyncrasies within that character that don't really make sense for the story that we know and love. And I am curious to see how they continue it based on what they've set up so far. But TV show Ellie is different than video game Ellie as a character.
right,
So I don't necessarily think that TV show Ellie is better than video game Ellie, but that's just my perspective. And I think a lot of other people kind of felt the same way, who wanted more of the emotion that we felt from that character in the game. So,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, we'll see how this affects the season 3, the third season of The Last of Us
When it comes out in 5 years.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
You think they're going to keep Pedro on to just do a bunch of flashbacks and stuff? They have to, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he will be back in one form or another. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joel's dead.
Oh no.
Spoiler alert, you idiots.
Okay.
Watch
All
the
right.
show or play the video games. I'm so sick of you people.
What do you mean, you people?
You know what I mean. Clickers.
Y'alls. Click. I'm uncomfortable even saying that. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit more controversial.
More controversial.
A little bit more controversial. God damn!
I told you.
What the fuck?
Wasn't just me.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
What the hell? What the hell? All right, this is even more Controversial.
Somehow more controversial.
Little political.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in that direction. We're gonna have little political talks, but it still makes sense.
Yeah. We try to stay away from politics and even world politics, but I think this makes sense for us because it does center around music.
Yeah,
And specifically, artists being able to come to America and perform and getting charged for performances.
this is crazy. So,
Yeah.
all right, give us the backstory on Bob Vylan.
Okay, I'll give you the
Bob Vylan case.
the intro to the NPR post here. After Glastonbury, Bob Vylan faces UK criminal investigation and US visa revocation. This is from Fatima Al-Kassab. London. The BBC and the annual Glastonbury Festival of Contemporary Performing Arts, that's a long title,
Too much.
have come under criticism from the British Prime Minister and broadcasting regulator after a punk rap band led chants against the Israeli military during a festival performance, which was broadcast live on Saturday afternoon. British punk rap duo Bob Vylan is now under a criminal investigation in the UK after its lead singer, whose stage name is Bob Vylan,
Yeah.
real name Pascal Robinson Foster,
Just pause for 2 seconds. Both of their names are
or
Bob.
Bobby Vylan.
Yeah, it's
they're-
Bobby
they're-
and Bobby Vylan.
Yeah, spelled differently.
Yeah. Which I find awesome.
Hilarious. Led chants of, quote, death to the IDF, referring to the Israeli military during a Glastonbury set. The performance was streamed live by the BBC on its iPlayer service. Within seconds, the broadcaster added an on-screen warning for viewers about, quote, very strong and discriminatory language.
Okay.
Yeah. Politicians didn't like it, obviously. In a statement on Monday, the BBC said it regretted not pulling away from the live stream. It said, quote, the anti-Semitic sentiments expressed by Bob Vylan are utterly unacceptable.
That's not anti-Semitic. Okay, sorry.
And added to it, quote, respects freedom of expression, but stands firmly against incitement of violence, or incitement to violence, I should say. Broadcasters had already decided not to broadcast the Glastonbury performance of Irish language hip-hop band Kneecap live. So they went ahead and just proactively were like,
They knew
No.
Kneecap was about to be on some shit.
we are
And they
not
said, you know what? No.
gonna do
we're
that.
not here.
We are not gonna do that.
Kneecap's awesome, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yes. I heard them before the controversy.
Yeah, me too.
I heard them before
Me
the
too.
controversy.
I knew who they were.
So a lot of politicians were saying it was inappropriate for Kneecap to even be able to perform there at Glastonbury.
Glastonbury.
UK police say a criminal investigation has now been launched over both the Bob Vylan and Kneecap performances. The statement from the police force said the investigation would look into whether comments made by either act amounted to a criminal offense, including related to hate crimes. Bob Vylan was due to perform in the U.S. later this year, but the Glastonbury appearance will have repercussions for the band's tour plans. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau wrote on X that the members of Bob Vylan would have their visas revoked, adding, quote, foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. That's pretty much that.
Oh, what a hard stance to take, buddy.
Yes. Bob Vylan, I should say, in a closing statement, Bob Vylan shared a statement on Instagram after his performance in which he said, teaching our children to speak up for the, quote, teaching our children to speak up for the change they want and need is the only way that we make this world a better place, end quote. Alongside the statement was the caption, quote, I said what I said. So,
Okay.
clearly not repentant.
No.
But yeah, we're getting into a space where these artists are now potentially being charged with crimes. That's very nice.
Thank you.
For their antics on stage.
Yeah. And
speech.
that I am vehemently against.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just first and foremost, the inciting of violence. I mean, I do understand saying death to the IDF.
A little harsh.
Little yeah,
harsh.
Yeah.
Little harsh.
So and I mean, that is. He's complicated, man.
It's very complicated.
He's very complicated, man.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. We're not gonna figure out the issues in the
No,
release.
I don't think we're not gonna get to the bottom of this.
We ain't gonna crack it.
I'll just give my opinion on it. I will say.
Okay.
This is
Death to the
yeah. My opinion is this. Death to the no.
I'll see you in Guantanamo, buddy.
I mean, yeah, inciting violence, inciting riots is, it is against the First Amendment of the United States. So I will say that. I do think that any American politician who has a strong stance about this is very clearly just in bed with Netanyahu and is just trying to placate the Israeli government.
The relationship with the Israeli government, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really all that's about.
Which I will say is the vast majority of them on both sides of the aisle.
For sure. Yeah. And I understand that. America is just, anyway. I do think that Glastonbury probably is frustrated by this because, you want to just do a music festival. You don't want to make a political statement. You don't want to be a part of that because you don't want to deal with the repercussions. I do think that if you book Kneecap and Bob Vylan, you kind of have to expect something, right?
You can't act innocent in this.
Right.
You knew what was going to happen.
So, and I think that's number one, like that. Let's just start there. Glastonbury booked these bands knowing full well, like Kneecap has already been mired in controversy.
Right. And the BBC knew already to be like, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, they already just didn't broadcast it. So, okay, you're okay with the money that you would earn by booking these bands. But I don't understand. You are against the sentiment or have no opinion on the sentiment that they would express when they were on stage. But booking them isn't like expressed,
consent.
agreement or consent in what they say, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You are literally giving them a stage.
and
a
broadcasting
microphone.
it to millions of people.
Yes. On the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I think Glastonbury
channel.
is
BBC.
Not,
that's what it means, right?
Yeah, that's what BBC stands for. Nothing else. I think.
Oh no.
I think that they are at least implicit in this, if not outwardly, on the same level.
They knew what was going to happen. They knew.
And they know, and they know all of this, like what's happening now, us talking about it, all of the charges that are coming up, maybe, who knows? I doubt it. I'll just say also, I doubt that anything like serious comes from this.
It is a lot of like chest thumping and like, oh, we won't stand for this.
Yeah. If their visas get revoked, I do think I think that is a massive, massive overstep of our boundaries to be like a musical act can't come and perform songs because of a sentiment that they expressed in another country, by the way.
Sure. About another country. Right.
And I would feel the same way if they said, if it was let's just take it to the extreme. If it was like a neo-Nazi band that it got booked somehow sure. They slipped through the cracks,
right? And
they were saying like really heinous stuff. I think that it's always funny to me that there are people who are like when it comes to Twitter, for instance, when they removed all of the safeguards at Twitter. And now you can go on and you can see just the most heinous stuff.
Comedy is legal.
I've reported many pages.
Yep.
Have not heard nothing back.
No.
They just don't care. They say the most heinous, most racist, most vile shit. The
truly
idea,
anti-Semitic things.
Yes. And the idea there is you let people vote for themselves. You let people make the decisions for themselves. Like, I don't want to see this content, so I'm going to block this person, mute this person, or not engage with this content. But the idea is you let everybody. It's a forum. It's the world stage.
Sure.
You let everybody say whatever they want, and then you let all of us decide if we will engage with that content.
As a society, we can choose if we want to support somebody.
Sure.
Or not.
So that's the stance that we take when we want to say racist jokes. But when it's something that is against your beliefs, now all of a sudden it's like, no, we need to do something about this. And I just think that you need these people who make these sort of decisions. They need to, and they're never going to. And we're not going to get to the bottom of this. But the hypocrisy is just so glaring.
It's obvious. Yeah,
it's like
very
okay.
obvious.
It's now when it's some shit like who was this guy who was it who was going to revoke their visas?
That would be none other than.
I think you went too far.
You think?
Yeah, I think it was down there. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau.
There you go.
Christopher Landau has never heard a rap song in his entire life.
Probably not.
Doesn't know who Bob Vylan is. I didn't even know who they were until a couple days ago.
And I will say this has been great press.
Oh yeah, because I started listening to their stuff and they're
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so
they are really good, actually.
that definitely helps.
This is Christopher Landau.
Yeah, that guy doesn't know who Bob Vylan is.
Another
doesn't know
80s
who Kneecap
villain.
is. I would be surprised if he even knew what Glastonbury was.
Yeah.
And he has an opinion on this sort of thing. You know? So it's stuff like that where I'm like, we're engaging with this in such bad faith.
They're all opportunists, and they will do anything to continue to say and do whatever will keep them in power, because it's what's popular right now, unfortunately, in the United States. And I can almost guarantee in the current state of things in the U.S., Bob Vylan will not be coming here anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but it is. That's where we are right now.
Well, I think it's important because you made a good point of saying, like, incitement of violence is not covered in the First Amendment in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Do I think saying death to the IDF is inciting violence? Yeah, in a way.
It could.
It could be. It could be perceived that way on surface value, on face value. But I think that there is an inherent hypocrisy when you are criticizing that speech while enabling actual violence in the area.
Right.
And not only enabling, but celebrating and profiting off of and continuing to fund actual death, destruction, and violence in that area of the world.
Right.
So I just think for a lot of people, it falls on deaf ears when you clutch your pearls at someone saying something mean and then trying to claim that it's anti-Semitic when it is. If you are going to call it incitement of violence, it is incitement of violence on a country's military.
Yeah.
Not even the country's people, but the country's military. I understand there's a mandatory service in Israel.
But if you said death to America, people would go like, yeah, that's xenophobic and it's a sentiment that's against Americans. Or America as a concept, as an idea, but not a sentiment against individual Americans. So to say like death to the IDF is a sentiment against the idea of the military industrial complex and the idea of like what they are doing and what they are capable of continuing to do, these war crimes that they may or may not be committing, so on and so forth. It's an indictment of that, not the Israeli people, not the individual Israeli men and women in service.
And I mean, back it up 100%. It is clearly not an incitement of violence against Jewish people at large.
Right. So to call it anti-Semitic is so disingenuous. And
it conflates Israel and specifically the IDF with all Jewish people.
Yeah.
Which I think is a mistake to do.
And I think a lot of Jewish people would be offended by the idea that, they just wholeheartedly are lumped in with the IDF, and so much as every American is not just,
lumped in with the military industrial complex of the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's just such a it's just such a bullshit argument, honestly.
Well, and it wasn't all that long ago that bands like Rage Against the Machine were saying very similar things, and yeah, they were getting shit for it, but they weren't getting, charged by the U.S. government.
Right. You give them shit for it. That creates the controversy. Everybody's talking about them and stuff. But once actual federal governments get involved, people don't realize the slippery slope that we're on right now, because it's not... It has nothing to do with their interests.
Yeah.
And so they don't care. But they will. If Democrats were still in charge.
Yeah.
And like a country singer was like, Sleepy Joe Biden needs to fall off a chair and just go home.
Yeah.
Go home to the big blue sky. If he said something to the effect of like,
"Meet Jesus,
death
Joe."
to Joe Biden, and the Democratic government was like, we are making it so that this person can't tour anymore. We are revoking their visa.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what kind of? I mean, it would be everywhere.
Yeah.
It would be. There would be calls for impeachment, man. It would be fucking.
I just said I hope he dies. I didn't say I was going to kill him.
So. I just think that, and I'm saying this for both sides, you really need to take a long, hard look at where this kind of stuff is going, because this is how it starts, man.
And it is, if it wasn't so tragic, it would be hilarious how the sentiment has flipped 180 degrees.
Yeah, now all of a sudden this is cool, and it's okay to do shit like this.
When not that long ago, it was the entire push by the right to say we should be able to say whatever we want.
Right.
We should,
there should be no consequences to the. I should be able to say it's a joke, it's a song, it's just a movie. You should be able to do whatever you want.
Right.
And now,
I believe in freedom of speech, brother.
now you do something like that, and it's like someone needs to do something
Right,
about this.
right.
I cannot believe. Who are the snowflakes now?
You're un-American.
It just, yeah, it's,
You're un-American for not supporting the IDF.
It's right,
Yeah.
right.
Checks out.
It's
Yeah.
sad that people, like they just don't really seem to understand or care that it's only okay now because it's not happening to you. But the minute that the pendulum swings back, because it will, believe me, right now, it will. You do not want this kind of the potential for this kind of retaliation for artistic expression is, I mean, you talk about these communist countries and these dictators and all this stuff, and you poo-poo it, and then on the other side, all of a sudden it's okay to do this sort of thing because law and order and but I'm telling you, man, when it swings back the other way and you're like, whoa, I thought jokes were legal now. I thought comedy was legal now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay that we don't have freedom because I'm really scared. Let's build a concentration camp in the Everglades
and just put a bunch of punk bands there.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
It's a great festival.
Such a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be awesome to put them in concentration camps. It would be awesome to be surrounded by a bunch of cool
Alligator
punk bands.
Alcatraz Fest.
Yeah. All right. Let's, because like we said, we're not going to get to the bottom of this.
No.
We are going to get to the bottom of these beers. But before we get to the bottom of these
Sooner
beers,
than later.
we have one last thing to do, and that is the cheers of the week. So, Obi, please tell the people what your cheers is.
My cheers of the week, as hinted at in the last episode of the One Reelin' podcast, 28 years later. I had me a time. I went and saw 28 years later on a solo excursion to the movie theaters. Experience.
I know. I'm looking at him too. Believe me. He just went.
I just went.
He just went.
I had saved up enough Regal points.
Enough coin.
Enough Regal points. I didn't have to. I only spent money on the processing charge of like $2.
Yeah, you did,
Yeah.
loser.
Yeah. So I used my Regal app and applied my points to see this movie, and it was awesome. It was so good. I'm not just talking about the experience as a whole, but I'm speaking specifically about the movie itself and the fact that Alex Garland and Danny Boyle still have what it takes to be a knockout duo of writer-director.
Yeah.
And you don't see that very often. I feel like it's more of a thing of the past for the most part, but man, do they still got it.
Yeah.
And I was honestly a little apprehensive leading up to this movie because, 28 Days Later is the stone cold classic of not just the zombie, air quotes, genre, but of horror and of early 2000s cinema.
Yeah.
I think it's just it is a perfect time capsule of like what cutting edge movie making was like back then.
Yeah.
And to follow that up with the first true follow up from the same writer director, I was like, please don't mess this up.
Yeah.
Please don't mess this up. And they didn't. But they also didn't play it safe. And there's a lot of risks taken in the movie, in the direction, in the storytelling, and another element that I was kind of worried about is that this was planned to be a new trilogy. And whenever people do that, I tend to worry, like, okay, well, you're not going to like have a fulfilling story. Then you're going to try to spread this thing out and really milk it, but not the case. This is a standalone, great, thrilling, dramatic, and emotionally resonant movie about xenophobia, isolationism, about Brexit, and a lot of things all kind of lumped together in this genre movie that, again, a lot like Sinners, kind of surpasses the genre roots while still respecting what makes the genre so special, and really doing its own thing. I am so excited to see, again, another weird choice. Nia DaCosta?
Yeah.
DaCosta is directing the sequel.
Oh, yeah, Nia DaCosta, yeah.
She's directing the sequel, and then Boyle's coming back for the third movie. So I don't know why that was decided on.
Yeah,
but
he couldn't commit to all three. He was like, you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna have to find somebody to do one of them.
I don't think that's the case, because the way, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but the way that Years ends, it is such a shift in tone that I feel like it was done purposefully to have a completely different perspective on what the 28 series is, in the larger scope.
Yeah.
And like a completely different vibe of a movie, and then coming back to what 28 Years is. So I'm super excited.
It would have been fun to watch this movie, right?
Right.
I mean,
be in the theater and watch this movie with him.
He just wants to invite people that he's close with.
He didn't invite. Who are you talking about? He didn't invite anybody.
If only he did.
Oh, if only he did. Oh,
Yeah,
I was like, he didn't tell anybody.
We weren't invited.
I'm close with me.
Wow.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to get in touch with yourself. It was me, an elderly man in the front row, and a couple.
It was Danny Boyle.
Yes, and a couple behind me, and that was it.
No, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. I've seen
Yeah.
movies by myself, and it is a very like, you know what? I'm gonna take myself out. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna watch a movie by myself. I'm gonna enjoy it.
It's solitary, but it feels a little like therapy. It's nice. You just have a little, you time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went and saw Star Wars by myself.
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Which one? Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Oh.
I'm revealing this for the first time. I actually went and saw it before I saw it with all of them.
The betrayal.
That's fine.
Because they wanted to wait like 3 days.
Oh, okay.
This is on them. You know?
That's all I kept.
You should have taken that to your grave.
It's been revealed.
All right. Well, now that our relationship is different forever, yes, I highly recommend you out and watch 28 Years Later, Friends and Family. Yeah. Exciting filmmaking from an old British man and his middle-aged British friend who is also an accomplished director himself.
All right.
Go check it out.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to Victory, the new Slick Rick album.
Oh. I thought you just meant like success.
You know, the idea of just winning
Victory,
things.
the concept.
He hasn't put an album out since like 1999, I believe was his last album. And
Speaking of British people.
right. It's really good, man.
Yep.
It's like surprisingly good.
Well, I shared that song with Nas.
Yeah.
Produced by Idris Elba.
Yes.
Funny enough.
Idris Elba is the executive producer of the album.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's involved all the way through, and it is it's a shocking kind of like Slick Rick. It's surprising that his sensibilities are still so like to know how to be a guy in his 60s.
Yeah.
Is still making hip hop, not doing like it's obviously very. It's clear he's an older guy.
Sure.
Like the beats are like super boom bap. They're very like some songs don't have choruses. They just has the beat.
That's all he knows.
Like it's very It's a very like 80s. But the sound of it, I don't know how they did it, but they perfectly captured what a guy his age would do if he had been rapping this long. You know what I'm saying? It's not because there's a bunch of guys that try to be relevant.
Yeah.
And it's bad. And then there's other guys who are like, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna do what I've always done, and that sounds bad too. Because it's like, dude, it's not 1989 anymore.
Right.
Like, figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
He figured it out somehow, and it sounds relevant without sounding like he's lost a piece of himself.
I have to think that has at least a little to do with Nas, because he's also cracked that code.
Yes, he has.
You know?
Somehow. To be still relevant, still making music that sounds pertinent and important.
Yeah.
In 2025, being in your 60s is crazy. Please skip the Landlord song. I don't know.
I heard.
I don't know what the fuck he was thinking with that one.
Yeah.
I've been talking to other people about it, and I'm just like I don't know what the fuck.
You got to give him one for being old and just like being a little out of touch.
Bro, that one is crazy.
Yeah.
What halfway through the song, I'm like, well, for sure there's going to be a twist, right? That's how his stories go. There's always like a fun twist. No. It's
And
3
this is
minutes
the
of
way
him
we gotta
being
end
like,
the story.
It sucks to be a landlord because some people don't pay rent on time and some people are dirty. Am I right, fellas? Don't you hate being a landlord to these fucking scumbags?
I'll give him one and say it was, his heart was in the right place, but
In the right place? What place? What are you talking about?
his tenant's pockets.
Yeah, that's where his hands were.
Yeah.
So yeah, skip that song. Otherwise, it's a great album.
Okay.
So
Nice.
definitely gonna dip into my hopefully we'll see. It's a strong year so far. That
is.
Clips album is about to come out, and like that's
Buddy,
can't wait for that.
I'm in that place where I'm like almost upset that we have to continue to wait for it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, come on.
just put it out.
It's time.
Just put it out.
It's time.
It's so weird to do this old school traditional album release
Yeah.
thing.
Put the singles out first.
2 singles.
Yeah.
We'll do the run of interviews.
Music
we'll
videos.
do the freestyles, the music videos, and then
Interviews.
and then like a month later, there's the album. Like, bro, just put this shit out.
Please.
Just surprise release it.
Gimme.
Boom.
Gimme.
Okay.
Okay.
We want to review these beers?
I would love to.
Well, from the Drowned Lands, it's the Green Yield Hazy IPA. Obi, what'd you think?
Are you about to call me Hobie?
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 I really enjoyed this beer. It's a 5 for me. I think it is a great hazy, and I do get those like fruity notes. It doesn't give you the that bitter bite that I often ding IPAs for. And it's not overly sweet. I think it's a really well balanced hazy IPA, not over the top with the ABV either. It's great. I would definitely get this one again.
Yeah, I agree. 5. I would if I saw this out and about. If you see this out and about, definitely recommend grabbing this. It's smooth, kind of velvety.
Yeah.
Not overly bitter, not overly sweet, not overly like citrusy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of hazy IPAs are very like just citrus, kind of almost sour sometimes. And like, no, this is a perfectly well balanced, well made hazy IPA. So
and very cool art. Their entire
the
aesthetic is cool.
Yeah, very cool. All right, you think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, if Hobie says we got it,
Hobie.
This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yep, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.